What is going on, YouTube? I am Germ here. I believe as of today, we are right around 2 weeks away from the start of MSI. It is going to be an awesome tournament. Recently, we've been a little bit in off-season mode, talking about rumors, speculation, news, all that type stuff. But I did want to get back into MSI coverage a little bit as we're ramping up and getting closer to the event. I don't know why this half of my face is so dark today. I thought usually it's lit up a little bit more, but whatever, we'll make it work. As far as the MSI group breakdown, I did a group breakdown of Group C a couple days ago. It's got an LCK team, maybe the favorite going into the tournament. It's also got an LCS team, so I thought people would be pretty excited about that. Today, we're going to be going over Group B, because I know I have a lot of viewers and people that watch my videos from Europe and people who are fans of the LEC, and it's also one of the best regions in the world, so I did want to cover this group. So if you're a European fan, an LEC fan, a Mad Lions fan, you'll maybe understand a little bit better some of the teams that Mad Lions is going to be taking on. You'll know who to be afraid of, who to not be afraid of, and just kind of what to expect headed into the tournament. We're going to be running through each team. I'm not so much going to be giving predictions or anything in this video. I'm just going to be giving you guys a little kind of background and history on each of these regions and each of the teams that are going to be representing these regions, because even if you're an LEC fan, you probably watch a lot of Mad Lions over the course of the year, but did you watch a lot of PCS? Did you watch a lot of CB LOL? You know, I doubt it. So I'm just going to give you, all the information you need to know headed into MSI. Before we get into that, I just want to mention real quick, if you guys have not already, please take a second, smash that like button. I would appreciate it so much. It really helps out the YouTube algorithm. And subscribe to stay up to date on all my latest content, so you guys don't miss out on anything we got going on in the future. With that being said, the Group C video did really well. It seemed like you guys wanted more, so let's get into this. So here is Group B. This is the group that our LEC representative is going to be taking on. Again, the top 2 teams advance to the next stage, so you just got to finish top 2. Honestly, I don't even know if there's an advantage to finishing first. I don't know, but I know top 2 is really important. It's a different MSI format this year, so there's going to be a lot of kind of learning as we go. But here it is: Pain Gaming, Istanbul Wildcats, PSG Talon, and Mad Lions. Now, I want to start at the bottom, work our way up. These teams are kind of ranked in order of like how their regions have been strength-wise historically. So we'll be starting out at the bottom with Pain Gaming in the CB LOL. So this is the Brazilian League of Legends League, and if we take a look, first we can take a look at Pain Gaming and their roster a little bit, if I can find them. Here is Pain Gaming. We will see they have 4 Brazilian players in Robo, Carioc, Tinones, BRTT, who's obviously a big name that, old school League of Legends fans will know very well from international tournaments, all-stars, all that type of stuff. He's actually a pretty big personality, very popular player, and a nasty 80 carry. And then they do have a Korean support in Lucy. So that is the Pain Gaming roster, what they're looking like coming into the season. During the spring split, they went 11-7. They ended up tied for 4th place. They ended up getting 5th place. They had a 61% win rate throughout the season. They ended the regular season on a 4-game win streak. So this being the MSI representative was maybe a little bit of a surprise. This was not a team that finished and they didn't win the regular season of the spring split. They didn't even finish top 2. So a little bit of a dark horse going into the playoffs, and potentially means that maybe the CB LOL isn't sending their best team. Like, obviously this is a team that made it through the playoffs and everything, but historically over the course of the whole season and over the course of all the different patches and stuff, this was kind of just a middle-of-the-pack team in the CB LOL. So that is definitely something interesting to keep in mind. And then getting into the playoffs, we had Pain Gaming taking on Loud in their first match, LLL, where they did win 3-2. Then they ended up taking on Flamingo Esports in the semifinals, where they again won 3-2 before taking on VRX Red Candids, I believe, or no, Vorax. I don't know why VRX would be Red Candids. I was just looking at this logo; it stood out to me for some reason. Vorax in the finals, where they beat them 3-1. I believe Vorax won the first game, and then Pain Gaming went on to win 3 in a row. Because I was kind of watching. I did catch a little bit of the CB LOL finals because they were the very last region to finish up their spring playoffs to qualify for MSI, and I was waiting on making the MSI pick'em competition and stuff, and I needed the CB LOL to finish up. So I did catch a little bit of this. Pain Gaming did take them down 3-1 to kind of cap off their playoff run, which again was kind of interesting. This is the 5th place team in the regular season. They started out in the quarterfinals in the 4-5 game, and they went on a run all the way, and they had some crazy close series. Obviously in the first round 3-2, second round 3-2. So this is a team that was definitely not dominant in the regular season, was definitely not dominant in the playoffs. Nothing like that. We can take a look at some of the player stats for Pain Gaming, so we know maybe a little bit more about their players. You can see first up we have BRTT. Let me get to the KDA section right here. We got BRTT with a 5.13 KDA this is in the regular season, playing a majority of Kaiza, Aphelios, and Samira. We have Carriac in the jungle with a 5.16 KDA. So BRTT and Carriac looking very, very good in terms of KDA. Udyr, Lilia, Graves, nothing too crazy in the support pool there. Lucy, their Korean support, Alistar, Thresh, Leona, 3.16 KDA. Robo with the lowest KDA during the regular season. Gnar, Scion, and Volibear up in the top lane. Just looks like a lot of tanks there. Nothing too crazy, nothing too exciting. And then Tinones in the mid lane with a 10.89 KDA. Syndra, Zoe, and Galio. That's kind of crazy. You know, he has some of the roaming, some of the control mages, some of, you know, Zoe, whatever we want to classify her as, pick, poke, whatever. So kind of a pretty solid champion pool there for the mid laner, and a very, very sick KDA. Average score of 4.7, 1.06, and 6.78. He's dying barely one time a game, and he played in 18 games. That is, that's interesting. It sounds like he, you know, had a very, very good season. That might be something to be a little bit concerned about. Obviously, you know, there's going to be good mid laners in this group, as the LEC is bringing over humanoids, so nothing to be too concerned about there. But if we take a look at historically what the CBLOL has been able to do at the past two international events, we're talking about 2020 Worlds and 2019 Worlds, because 2020 MSI did not happen, so we got to go all the way back to 2019 Worlds just to see kind of what the CBLOL has done historically. In 2020 Worlds, they had INTZ in the play-in stage at Worlds, and they did go 1-3. Their one win came against Team Liquid, so they took down the team that actually ended up winning the group in the North American representative. But they did go 1-3. They did not qualify for the main stage, and that was the only CBLOL team at this event. 2019 Worlds, same story. Flamengo Esports was the Brazilian representative representing the CBLOL. In the group stage, they did go 1-3. They took a game off Royal Youth, who was the Turkish team in this group, but they were not able to qualify because they ended up playing a tiebreaker game against Royal Youth, where they ended up losing. So another 1-3 result for the CBLOL at the 2019 Worlds. They did not qualify for the main stage. So that is the CBLOL. That is the representative. That's how the league went down. That's how the league has looked historically. Again, probably definitely the weakest league in this tournament, or not in this tournament, in this group in terms of past results. And you know, it's not like Pain Gaming was an absolute beast throughout the season either. So kind of interesting stuff there. Next, we're taking a look at the TCL. This is the Turkish League of Legends League, the Turkish Championship League. From this group, we have the Istanbul Wildcats, which is a full Turkish team of Starscreen, Ferret, Saren, Holy Phoenix, and Farfetch. That's who they're rocking with. As you can see in the regular season, the Istanbul Wildcats went 14-4. 78% win rate, ended the season on a one-game loss streak. We can take a look at their kind of series throughout the year. They did go 1-1 with, who is this? This is 5 Ronin. They went 1-1 with Besiktas. I don't know how to say that. Some of these Turkish names are hard to say. They went 1-1 with Galatasaray, and they went 1-1 with the team in first place, who was Supermassive Esports. So they did finish just a game behind Supermassive. They did split the season series with the #1 team. So, you know, looking at the TCL representative, being the second place team and then ended up winning the playoffs, that's not too shocking. They were only a single game behind Supermassive during the regular season. So, in terms of the TCL and the quality of team we're going to be getting from them, could actually be potentially the best team, could be the strongest team, you know. Again, just a single game between them, and then them obviously making their playoff run. That's not too bad for Istanbul Wildcats. It does show a little bit more consistency and stuff to me. We take a look at the playoffs. We have the Istanbul Wildcats. They did take on Galatasaray in the semifinals. They got a bye in the first round. They did beat them 3-2. And then they went on to beat Fenerbahce in the finals 3-1 after Fenerbahce upset Supermassive 3-2 in the semifinals. So they didn't have to take on Supermassive ever, but they did take care of business again, winning their 2 series 3-2 and 3-1. You know, nothing too crazy. They didn't like stomp through the playoffs or anything like that, but you know, winning finals 3-1, pretty convincing, pretty interesting stuff there for the Istanbul Wildcats. We can look at their stats from the regular season, get a better idea of their players and everything as well, maybe find out some champ pools, some interesting picks, anything like that. If we can get the player stats to load. 1 second, we gotta go back real quick. All right, so we have the Istanbul Wildcats, if we can find them. All right, we got Farfetch. Again, this is the support He has a 4.07 KDA. This is Rel, Set, and Thresh. So, Set support, not a super common pick throughout this season. Ferret, this is the jungler, the 6.31 KDA. Olaf, Udyr, and Hecarim. We're going to see a lot of Udyr and Hecarim in a lot of these guys' champion pools. Holy Phoenix with the 7 KDA. This is Kai'Sa, Kalista, and Vayne. Vayne, kind of interesting, being your third most played. Then we have Saren in the mid lane, 6.97. Azir, Seraphine, Orianna. So just a lot of standard kind of mage picks there. Good Seraphine players are very scary though. And then Starscreen in the top lane with a 5.28 KDA. Renekton, Karma, and Aatrox. So this is a team that's not afraid to pull out the Karma top, evidently, which is kind of an interesting pick. A lot of people will go back and forth on whether or not Karma top is good, and teams whether or not they can make it work or whatever. But pretty standard stuff in Renekton being the most played, but pretty interesting there. Yeah. So we can take a look at the past results for Turkey in the 2020 World Championships. Supermassive was a representative during the play-in stage. They went 2-2. They did lose to Legacy, and they lost to Team Liquid, and they were not able to qualify for the main stage, and I believe that was the only Turkish team at this event. And then at 2019 Worlds, we had Turkey. This was Royal Youth, as we talked about previously, in the play-in stage, where they split games with Flamingo, and they went 0-2 against Damwon Gaming. They then won the tiebreaker against Flamengo, but they would go on to get 3-0'd by Clutch Gaming, who then I believe went on to go 0-6 in their group. So Royal, even though they did make it to at least the knockout stages of the play-ins, they were still not a great team at this tournament, because Clutch was not very good this year. Saying that as even an NA fan. I believe this was the only Turkish team at this tournament. So yeah, so again, Turkey, a little bit better results in CBLOL. They won their tiebreaker. They were able to make it to the knockout once. At this World, they were able to win a couple games. They won one more game than the Brazilian team. So not crazy better results for the TCL, but the TCL has had better results at the most recent international events than the CBLOL has had. Next, we get into the PCS. This is where things get a little bit more interesting, a little bit more spicy. This is the Taiwanese, Hong Kong, and Southeast Asian League, kind of like a combination now that the LMS is no longer there. We can take a look at the representative, which is PSG Talon. We have the Taiwanese top laner Hanabi, Korean jungler River, Taiwanese mid laner Maple, big name, definitely exciting there. Then we have Unified and Kai Wing as the AD carry and support here for PSG Talon. This team was dominant in the regular season, a 17-1 regular season split, 94% win rate, 15-game win streak to end the season. When we take a look at PSG Talon, the only game that they did drop was to Beyond Gaming. That was the second best team in the PCS, so nothing too bad there. You're the top team, you only dropped one game and it was to the second best team. That is a lot of consistency. That is pretty scary. Ending the season on a 15-game win streak, also very scary. When we go to the spring playoffs to see how they were able to do there, they did 3-0 J-Team in the first round, then a 3-0 of Beyond Gaming in the semifinals, before again 3-0ing Beyond Gaming in the finals. And again, Beyond Gaming was the second best team in the PCS. They were a game behind them in the regular season, and a 3-0 PSG Talon appears, just from these things, to be firing on all cylinders towards the end of the season. 15-game win streak, plus 3 more, plus 3 more, plus 3 more. So a 24-game win streak for PSG Talon headed into MSI. That's going to be pretty scary. That's going to be pretty interesting. We can take a look at kind of their stats from the spring season. I'm expecting some pretty crazy, pretty interesting stats here. We can find PSG Talon. We have, again, Hanabi in the top lane with a 6.59 KDA on the Gnar, Renekton, and Jace. So a little bit of everything, having the Jace, having the Gnar, having the Renekton, kind of 3 different play styles there. Pretty interesting. We have Kai Wing in the support, 9.13 KDA on Leona, Rel, and Rakan. Maple with the 12.41 KDA on Azir, Twisted Fate, and Zoe. Again, getting some of the control mages, getting some of the roaming style stuff too, being able to play multiple different styles. River with the 12.71 KDA in the jungle. Olaf, Nidalee, and Lilia. And then Unified, the highest KDA on the team, 13.75. Kai'Sa, Tristana, and Xayah. Again, the stats for this team are looking very scary. If we take a look at the PCS's historical kind of results, I believe we have PCS had 2 teams straight to the main stage. Did they have a team? I wanted to say they had a team in the play-ins, but maybe not. So we have the two PCS teams. We have Machi Esports, which was in a group with Team Liquid, Suning, and G2, which was honestly a pretty stacked group. Machi went 0-2 against G2, 0-2 against Suning, and split games with Team Liquid, the NA team, but they did finish last in their group. And then we had PSG Talon, also in a pretty stacked group with Damwon, JD Gaming, and Rogue. And PSG Talon went 0-2 against Damwon, but took a game off JD and took a game off Rogue, and actually finished ahead of the EU or the LEC representatives, which was pretty interesting. But unfortunately, the PCS was not able to get either of their teams out of groups. But 3 wins total, pretty interesting, kind of better than the other 2 regions we've looked at so far. When we go to 2019 World, I believe we're looking at the LMS now with Hong Kong Attitude. They were in the play-ins. They did go 3-1. They did split games with Low-Key Esports, and they 2-0'd Mega. They won their group. They went on to take on Icarus Gaming in their kind of qualification match for the play-in stage. They did win that series 3-1. So we had 3 LMS teams in the main stage, but unfortunately for the LMS, this was not a great year. We had AHQ Esports going 0-6 in their group with Damwon, IG, and TL. We had Hong Kong Attitude from the play-ins going 0-6 in their group with Griffin, G2, and Cloud9. And then the only LMS team to win a game was J-Team, who actually split with FPX, which was pretty crazy because, FPX goes on to win the championship. We have J-Team who splits with Gigabyte Marines, and they split with Splice, the EU representative. So kind of some mixed results there for J-Team. LMS was not able to get any teams out of groups, but again, they were able to win 3 games at Worlds in the main event, which again was a little bit better than we've seen from the CBLOL and the TCL. So PCS looking very, very solid coming in. They've had some mixed results at international events recently, but PSG Talon does look a little bit scary coming into this tournament. Finally, we get into the LEC. Here we have Mad Lions. This is the Turkish top laner Arma, the Spanish jungler Aloya, Humanoid, Karzi, and Kaiser rounding that out. So again, just a full kind of European team looking to do some damage at MSI, looking to represent their, their region. So we had Mad Lions finishing 3rd in the regular season. Honestly, a very, very up and down regular season, a 56% win rate and ending on a loss streak. They were 4 games behind G2 and Rogue. G2 and Rogue definitely looked like the strongest teams in the regular season. Mad Lions kind of looked like they were caught in this little pack of like, who's better between Fnatic, Schalke, and Mad Lions. They're all kind of jumbled up, but things obviously turned around in the spring playoffs for Mad Lions for whatever reason, whether it was the patch, whether they just found a spark or whatever, starting out with a big 3-1 series victory over Rogue, which was very, very impressive, and people were starting to talk about maybe Rogue's overrated, maybe Rogue's choking, maybe Rogue sucks, but it turned out Mad Lions was maybe just pretty damn good, actually, as they went on to then 3-1 victory over G2 as well, before going on, getting their rematch against Rogue in the finals and winning 3-2. So it was a crazy, crazy finals. Rogue, I believe, was up 2-1 and threw that lead away. Mad Lions and Rogue, they went back and forth. Rogue probably had more opportunities to win in the finals, honestly, but Mad Lions did get the job done. They did pull it out. And yeah, this was very, very exciting for them. If we take a look at the spring season, we can see kind of the stats for the Mad Lions players as well. We have Arma in the top lane, obviously, with the 3.18 KDA on the Gragas, Gnar, and Aatrox. We haven't really seen Gragas for any of these top laners so far. We have Karzi, who had a kind of, I was honestly a little bit disappointed with him in the regular season. He stepped it up big in the playoffs, but people were kind of talking about he had an iffy finals as well. 3.17 KDA, Kai'Sa, Xayah, and Jhin. We have El Yoya, who was the rookie of the split in the LEC, with a 4.42 KDA, Lilia, Olaf, and Graves. Humanoid in the mid lane, 2.97 KDA on Azir, Orianna, and Lucian. And then Kaiser as our support, 3.69 KDA, Rel, Nautilus, and Leona. If we take a look at some of the past results for the LEC for Europe, during the playing stage, they did not have, I forgot about this. This was Mad Lions last year. Mad Lions' last international results, 2020 Worlds. In the group stage, they did go 1-3, with their only win coming against INTZ. So that means they lost to Legacy, they lost to Supermassive, and they lost to Team Liquid. That was as far as they made it, because they made it to the knockout stage, where they ended up losing 3-2 to Supermassive, the Turkish team, which was obviously a very, very disappointing result for an LEC team. In the group stage, we had G2 going 4-2 and making it out of their group with Suning, Team Liquid, and Machi. I don't know what I just clicked on. I don't know why it took me somewhere else. Then in the other group, we had Rogue going 1-5 in a group with PSG Talon, JD Gaming, and Damwon. Rogue's only win did come against PSG Talon. And then finally, we had Fnatic going 4-2 in a group with Genji, LGD, and TSM. Fnatic going 2-0 against TSM and splitting games with the other two teams. We had G2 losing the tiebreaker to Suning. And then the 2020 Worlds bracket looked like this, where G2 3-0 Genji and Fnatic lost 3-2 to Top Esports. G2 then went on to lose 3-1 to Damwon Gaming in the semifinals. So that was 2020 Worlds for Europe. And then we take a look at 2019 Worlds, where we had Splice in the play-in stage. They did go 3-1. They dropped a game to Detonation Focus Me, but it was okay. They still won their group. And then Splice would end up getting out and taking on Unicorns of Love, where they were able to win 3-2 in a really, really close series against the CIS representative. Then we go on to the group stage, where G2 was in a group with Griffin, Cloud9, and Hong Kong Attitude. They ended up going 5-1, getting second place in that group because they once again lost a tiebreaker to Griffin. And then we had Splice in a group with Fun Plus Phoenix, J-Team, and Gigabyte Marines. Definitely not an easy group, where they went 4-2. They went on to lose a tiebreaker to FPX as well, so Europe not really doing great in tiebreakers this year, but another team out of groups. And then Fnatic in a group with RNG, Clutch Gaming, and SKT, where Fnatic went 4-2, and they also made it out of groups. So a very, very good year for Europe, where they had all three teams getting out of groups. No big disappointments here. G2 went on to beat Damwon 3-1 in the quarterfinals. Splice lost 3-1 to SKT, and Fnatic lost 3-1 to FPX. Then in the semis, G2 beat SKT 3-1 before getting 3-0'd in the finals by FPX, which, you know, we all knew about. We don't need to bring that up again. But that is it, guys. That is the kind of, you know, breakdown of every single team in Group B, everything you need to know about each of these regions, each of these teams, how their seasons went, what they've done historically, who's kind of the favorites, who's the strongest region, who's the weakest region, and everything in between headed into MSI. So again, whether you're a European fan or a fan of any of these other regions, or just a fan of League of Legends in general, you get a chance to learn a little bit more about all these teams and regions that maybe you didn't follow as closely during the regular season. But that's pretty much it for this video today, guys. Definitely drop a like if you did enjoy it. These videos take obviously a little bit more research, a little bit more work, and a little bit more time to make, so I'd appreciate it a ton if you did kind of help me out there. It really does help me out with the YouTube algorithm. Leave a comment down below. What do you think about Group B? What do you think about Mad Lions' chances not only in this group but in the tournament? I'd love to hear your guys' thoughts and opinions. Subscribe to stay up to date on all my latest content. Hopefully I catch you guys in the next one. But until then, peace!